Welcome back to Leo Builds It. I know it's not really a build channel yet. I'm still building the workshop. Um, as you can see here, I've got some insulation on the walls already from the last video. I insulated this corner. I moved the rack that was in that far corner behind me to this corner, so all my paints and finishes are right here next to the door. I did that. So I did that because I want to have my finishes next to the doorway. I know the cut was a little bit weird because there was an airplane flying overhead. I didn't want you guys to hear that noise. So all my cylindrical type items like this flex tape, for example, go on here. And it's next to the door so that when I'm doing the finishes on the projects that I'm working on, I can be sanding here. On the new work table will be on this side. All my finishes will be in one area that I can get to without having to crawl over stuff. Another thing that'll be coming down my pipeline, my brother-in-law has finally relented and agreed to sell me his table saw. Now he has his Craftsman. It's been sitting at my father-in-law's house for a few years. Then he used it for a remodel at his place. Hopefully he's done with that because now he's agreed to sell it to me for cheap. So I'm gonna have a halfway decent, a decent, by comparison to what I currently have right now, table saw. Because right now all I have is a rinky dink $30 Craftsman hand-me-down 8-inch bladed table saw that was used to strip pallets and rip pallet wood down. So the fence is dinky. It didn't come with any kind of miter gauge or writhing knife or blade guard or a fence that would clamp correctly and square. And the one my brother-in-law has all the above, plus it has a built-in cart, so you can just fold it up and use it, fold it down and stow it, which is the best part for me because I'm looking at getting a folding miter stand to replace my makeshift miter station. And I know that most people will prefer having a miter station because you have repeatability of cuts. But for right now, in my current situation with my workshop, I can't dedicate a spot for a miter saw because the only spot I have right now is where it's at presently. And on one side I have about 40 inches from wall to kerf, which is basically the actual wall to the kerf blade. And on the opposite side I have about 7.5 feet of clearance, so I can't really cut down anything. Let's say if I need to make a 6-foot cut on either side, I have to flip it around, and the cuts aren't as accurate as I would like them. Either I'm a kerf blade too long or kerf blade too short. That's about 1/8 of an inch. No, sorry, not an eighth. A 16th of an inch thick. So give me a 16th off, which is when you're trying to make something square, it's viable. We have another airplane. Thank you, Orlando International Airport. So back to what I was saying. Today I want to go ahead and go back to Lowe's and buy 2 more rolls of the encapsulated insulation I have here, so I can continue insulating down towards the end of the shed. I also want to get 2 sheets of 1/2-inch OSB, which is what's on the wall now. I really don't care for the seam as much because I will put an 1/8 inch wide, thick, 2-inch batten in between them, so it's not going to affect my visuals as much. So I mounted the shelf that was in the corner with all my stain and varnish and finishes on this corner right here, because that's where I started thinking about where would be a good spot to have everything that I use to make the wood pretty and make it more durable outdoors. So I thought right next to the door would be perfect, because that way, whatever I'm working on, I can just grab it from here. And if I have stuff in the shed, because sometimes I do have stuff in the shed on the floor like I have right now, um, I have to jump around the boxes and move around and stuff like that. I'm always shuffling stuff around. So to my left, I have the first two frames that I'm going to be building my shop cabinets out of. They are square, or square enough for my tastes. They're not going to be pretty. They're not going to have any kind of fascia boards on them. They're going to have shelving. I'm going to put tools in it. It's going to get dirty. They're going to get banged up and a whole bunch of other stuff. So these are two 24-inch frames. They're 34 inches high, 22 inches deep. I made them that way because I'm 6'5", so I need something higher than standard people. So I figured 36-inch high. I have a set to stand desk at work, so I thought, well, it would be a nice spot for me to have my tools and my stuff in front of me. And the 36-inch mark is just perfect for me personally. You might want to lower it, but so behind me on the wall, you'll notice that I have shelving. Finally, I put up some shelving. I was driving for the rideshare companies, and I passed a neighborhood where there was someone remodeling a kitchen. So I pulled a few of their uppers for myself. I have these three, and I have two more outside. I took one of them is a horizontal piece, which will hold my charging station for my drills, as well as all the bits and stuff like that goes with the drills. And then it'll also hold my cubby, not my cubby, but my tray boxes for my screws and my toolkits and so forth. So I'm trying to hurry up because my kids are waking up and they're gonna want to be out here and helping, and I can't film and watch them at the same time, especially since today I'll be working with electricity. And by electricity I mean wiring in the remainder of the run to where the wires come in from the circuit breaker, or where the circuit breaker drop down box will be, or sub panel, it's not drop down, it's a sub panel box will be. So I need to get that stuff wired in, as well as bring up the half, not the half, but the horizontal piece in here, measure out where the outlet's gonna be behind it, so I could have two outlets behind it for charging purposes. Because once I get that wall wired and insulated, I'm gonna start taking stuff off of this wall here to the left or to your right. Everything that's on here will essentially be put on this side, and just shuffling the mess for right now from one side of the workshop to the other, while I get stuff situated. So thanks for watching Leo Builds It. I hope you guys comment, like, and subscribe.